Just 11 days remain until the 2008 presidential election. I'm Spencer Lubitz, and welcome back to Wildcast, your source for campus news and information. If you're a bit unsure as to what to do come next Thursday, just take a few of these tips and you'll be set. First off, you need to find your voting location if you vote in Arizona, or if you don't, make sure you received your mail-in ballot. If you don't know where to go, then go to the Pima County Recorder's Office website and find out. Most voting locations in Tucson are open from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m., so you'll have plenty of time to go before or after your classes. Make sure you know what the issues are. Get informed, people. Voting without knowing what you are voting for can be worse than not voting at all. And if you want to research the issues, then please go to this website and read up on all the propositions. There are many issues that may not affect us as students, but there are certainly some very hot topic propositions on the ballot this year. One of them is Proposition 102, which proposes to define marriage as a union between a man and a woman. And while you consider that, our correspondent, Allie Miller, has the lowdown on what's on your mind.
Thank you, Spencer. I went on campus to see what the students are thinking about the election. You may be surprised by what you hear. I know I was.
Hey Wildcats, I'm Allie Miller, and we all know that voting is not only a choice, it's a privilege. I'm sure you've seen the Vote or Die commercials featuring celebrities like Paris Hilton and P. Diddy urging us to vote in this year's election. But are you really taking them to heart? Well, I'm on the mall asking students just that. Will they vote or will they die? So are you a voter?
Yes, I am.
Good, that means you're registered. And are you registered in the state of Arizona?
Nope, I'm absentee from Cali. Definitely not a first-time voter. I was in college the first time I voted, which was some time ago.
I've been registered since I was 18.
Absolutely. Of course. I vote every year.
Yes, I'm registered to vote in the state of Arizona. Question, what do you think about celebrities voicing their opinions politically?
I would never vote for somebody because a celebrity endorsed them. So I think they have a right, just like anybody, to express their opinion, but it wouldn't influence my vote one way or the other. Freedom of speech.
If you're going to get one more student to vote because they saw that one video, the Don't Vote video, it's a good idea.
It's great to get that age group in support and behind, because they're so focused on celebrities and what they're wearing and all this crap. But then at the same time, it's kind of like, it's not necessarily, they're not in the spotlight to be political. So I'm 50-50 on that.
I don't care what celebrities think.
If that's the way you get your information, go for it. I think you should make your own decisions, and if you feel that you identify better with a celebrity, it's fine.
If they want to voice it just like I want to voice it, then they should be able to.
I think my vote's going for Obama. We need a change.
I'm voting for Barack Obama. I support his viewpoints more than McCain's. I'm going to vote for John McCain. I'm not quite ready for the change to government having such a big role in our lives. I kind of believe in minimal government.
I will probably be voting for McCain. I grew up in Illinois, so I was able to get a first-hand look at Barack Obama as a senator and what he did before he was a senator, and I'm just really not comfortable with him because I don't really agree with the way that he handled Illinois.
I voted for John McCain. I'm more of like a moderate Republican, so I've always supported McCain. He's from the state of Arizona. I support most of his policies. I'm not a huge fan of Palin, but she comes with the ticket, so.
I'm voting for McCain
Why is that?
because I've been Republican all my life. My parents are Republican, and I drive a truck.
I'm voting for McCain.
And why is that?
Just because my political beliefs coincide with him, so that's why. I am watching the news, checking up online, reading the newspaper, just anything that I can do to stay informed.
How do you feel about Sarah Palin?
When I first heard that she was going to be the Republican nomination, I was interested. She has made some blunders, made herself not look so appealing, but overall I think she's a pretty good choice.
All right, Cats, well, you heard it here first, straight from the students' mouths. If it looks like the election was today, McCain would win. Thanks for watching Wildcast. I'm Allie Miller.
So what was your overall impression of the students on campus? Do you feel like most of them are registered to vote?
Yeah, actually, I was really impressed with the fact that a lot of them were registered. And not only that, but they were registered with absentee ballots when they weren't from Arizona. So I was
Wow.
really impressed.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And now, gotta ask, what is the overall impression that you feel that which way are students leaning?
You know, I was actually very surprised. The majority is voting for John McCain. And while this is a Republican state, you know, you kind of get the gist of that. But I was kind of amazed because students are most likely liberal, you know, in general.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
I
interesting.
was a little amazed at that.
Very interesting. All
Yeah.
right, Allie Miller, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And coming up, more along the lines of election coverage and whether or not the fact that this is Senator John McCain's home state, how much is that having effect on students at the university? We'll have that and more coming up after the break. You're watching Wildcast.
So Andy, what is it that you like most about being an anchor on Daily Dose?
Oh, I love getting the news out to the people. I like to write my own stuff, and it's a great experience. Everybody on campus gets to see my face. I just love coming here, all the people, and it's just great. Jess, what do you like most about being an anchor on Daily Dose?
That's easy. The fact that you don't have to wear pants when you do the news.
That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. I need you to hurry up now, cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, cause I can't get much longer. Man, I've been waiting all night now, that's how long I've been on ya.
Last week we were joined by the president of the University of Arizona College Republicans to discuss Senator McCain's campaign for president. And this week joining us is James J. Jeffries, the president of the University of Arizona Young Democrats, to tell us what's going on the other side of the fence. Thank you for joining us, James.
It's awesome to be here, man.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming here. So, what is your organization doing to promote Senator Obama's presence on campus?
Well, we've been partnering with the Obama for America campaign. They've been operating out of Congressman Grijalva's headquarters for about a month and a half now. So we've been leading members down there. We go out on Saturday canvases where we go out into Democratic neighborhoods, knock on doors, distribute literature, and just basically relaying the whole spate of volunteer opportunities that are available for students to take part in at our meetings every week.
Very interesting. So it's no secret that Senator Obama appeals towards the younger students.
Right.
Do you feel that, given that the University of Arizona lies in Senator McCain's home state, that is presenting a greater struggle for Senator Obama?
Well, to be honest, I mean, it's been difficult because there is the perception that McCain has Arizona in the bag. However, there was a recent poll that indicated that McCain was only up by 7 points. And if you consider that he's been a senator and congressperson here for almost a quarter of a century, he should have a much bigger lead. So I think it's totally doable. I think we can knock him off here. Al Gore lost Tennessee, his home state, in 2000. So it's not unheard of. It's totally doable. We just have to do the best we possibly can to turn out the votes here in Pima County.
All right. Well, it's no secret that Senator McCain's numbers are down and that Senator Obama is doing well across the country. What do you want the University of Arizona students, the voting students of the university, to know? Many of them, this is their first time voting. What do you think is essential for them to know about Senator Obama and why they should be electing him?
I think they've just got to know that at this critical point in our nation's history, we desperately need somebody that has an agenda for the future. I mean, McCain's got a lot of ideas that the Republican Party has trolled out there for a long time, this whole sort of trickle-down theory of economics that, if you don't tax the rich very much, they're going to invest more in jobs and industry, and eventually some of that prosperity will trickle down to the rest of us. That hasn't happened. College education, the price of textbooks, all of those things have just been going through the roof, and it's really time for some new, dynamic, young, vibrant leadership. And that's why I'm so passionate about Obama's candidacy.
But what in Senator Obama's history has led you to believe that he can provide all of this to the students of the University of Arizona?
Well, it's definitely the kind of thing where there are a lot of challenges involved in bringing forth that kind of agenda to Washington. I mean, the country faces some really serious issues right now between the energy crisis, the financial meltdown, just the spate of problems in front of us are really daunting. And I mean, it's almost one of those things where you go, well, whoever wins as president, they've got an enormous task ahead of them. But I just think that it's really a vision thing at this point. And I think Obama has a vision for the country. And if we can elect him and we can elect a Democratic supermajority with at least 60 Senate seats and an expanded majority in the House, he'll have the troops that he needs to actually get that agenda for change through.
But specifically with education, is there anything that Senator Obama can really do for the students here at the University of Arizona?
Well, education for him is a huge priority, and one of the key features of his plan is he has this idea where you would get a $4,000 refundable tax credit in exchange for 100 hours of community service. And I mean, that would benefit twofold. Number one, students would get that huge break towards their tuition, towards their education expenses. And then the rest of the country would reap the rewards of having all these students out there putting 100 hours of service into their community. So it's that kind of forward thinking that we really need to get America out of this funk and just get things moving again, get people able to afford their educations, get the whole cycle of economic opportunity rolling.
Very interesting. I hadn't heard some of those. This is very interesting ideas. James J. Jeffries, president of the University of Arizona Young Democrats. Thank you for joining us, James.
Thank you.
We'll have more after the break. You're watching Wildcast.
UATV 3 UATV 3 When I turn on the TV, I turn it to channel 3, cause they got all the greatest shows that I've been waiting to see. It's entertaining to me, cause it's pertaining to me and all the other Wildcats in the student body. We're broadcasting live to all the residence halls, so all y'all's in the halls, turn your TVs on to channel 3 for Sheezy, so you can see me and all the other happy people down at UATV 3.
Welcome back. In a recent Best College Rankings edition of the Princeton Review, the U of A was named one of the nation's most sustainable universities. Here to tell us more about that is Lon Huber, the Associate Director of Sustainability for the ASUA. Thanks for joining us, Lon.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So sustainability has become kind of a mainstream hot topic issue lately, but not many of us know exactly what it means. What is sustainability?
Well, in terms of the environment, it's about using our resources in a manner that doesn't deplete them and uses them in a way that future generations can also have them at their disposal, right? So it means, not putting toxins in our water or not using up all the oil so that down the road, we don't have that option to use if we need it.
So just clean, green living, being a little more efficient and kind of watching how we use and maybe even waste our energy.
Right, yeah, it's about being aware of what you're doing, what's going on around you in terms of how resources are being used, if they're being used effectively, efficiently, things of that nature.
Right. So what at the University of Arizona, because we were just ranked one of the more sustainable schools in the country, what is being done here that makes us so sustainable?
Well, there's a lot of things, and even though we did well in that report, there's still a lot of areas for improvement. But our transportation network is pretty strong. We have some decent recycling efforts, and we have some of the best research groups here, putting out great technology for solar and water research, everything like that. So we're really involved in the sustainability issues, not only deploying them on campus, but also getting the research so that we can help bring some of that technology out to society so that the whole society as a whole can benefit from these new techniques that we're developing.
Very interesting. And now what can students be doing to live a greener life on campus?
Well, one of the things that ASUA just started some sustainability efforts, and one of it was an action committee, which is basically a focused group that takes a list of projects and just works to get them taken care of. So that means, getting solar panels on campus, doing water harvesting, getting more recycling bins, doing education opportunities, right? So that can be an outlet for students to go if they want to get interested and do some work on sustainability issues. If they want to become educated on how to construct water harvesting, something like that, right? They can also just do little lifestyle things. So they can, recycle some of their paper, or they could drive less. They could carpool. They can wash their clothes in cold water if they live off campus or something like that. So there's a lot of little things you can do, and there's a ton of resources out on the web that you can look up. We have a sustainability website as well. It's on the main page, UA Green. Click on that. There's going to be a lot of helpful tips.
And that's right. If you have any more information, check out UA Green. And Lon Huber, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be right back after we take this quick break. You're watching Wildcast.
This is Wildcast. This is Daily Dose.
Looking for new ways to spend your time? Well, there's a lot of ways to get involved at the U of A, but one of the more unusual and undiscovered clubs is the Catfish Scuba Club. And joining us now is the president, Jeff Mischel. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
So, Catfish Scuba Club. I doubt many people even know that we have a scuba club at the University of Arizona. Tell me, how did you guys get started?
Well, we started out last year. I noticed kind of this void in like what scuba divers could do. There's a lot of scuba diving opportunities in the area, and there was the Outdoor Ventures doing certifications and things like that for new divers, but there was really nothing to do if you were already certified. No way to continue your diving as a hobby, no way to learn more about the sport and things like that. So I saw a definite niche for it.
Right, okay. So what do you guys do exactly? This is the middle of the desert. What can the scuba club be doing?
Well, there are a bunch of really good locations to dive that are really less than a day's drive away. We have La Jolla, California is great cold water diving. It's about 6-hour drive from here. And then if you head south of the border down to Mexico, about 6 hours down, you get to San Carlos, Mexico, which is just great tropical diving.
That's right. And I heard you guys took a recent trip down to San Carlos.
That's right. Yeah. We were down there last weekend. We had 15 people, I think, showed up to the trip, so it was our biggest trip yet. We got 4 new divers certified. We got 4 people certified to dive on a different kind of air. It's an enriched air. It has more oxygen than the air we're breathing right now. So I got 4 people certified on that, and we did 5 dives while we were down there, and a beach cleanup. It's a really messy beach, and cleaned that up, so that was really cool.
Wow, so you guys are cleaning up the environment as well as scuba diving. Now, you said that you got some students certified. Do you offer instruction yourself, or how does that work?
We have really close ties to one of the shops in town, Desert Divers. They've been really great to us, and what we ended up doing was one of their instructors came down from there, and he actually taught the classes here at the U of A, and did pool sessions and everything with those students before we went on the trip last week. So he came down with us on the trip. But we do have several of our members are stress and rescue divers, so they're certified, to dive in situations, to help other divers out and stuff like that. So, definitely safety is an important issue for us.
Wonderful. Now, how many times a year do you guys go out on dives?
Well, we're shooting for 2 big trips a year. So maybe we'll do San Carlos, in the fall, and maybe next spring we'll head off to La Jolla or something like that. And there is some lake diving around here, which we may or may not get into, and stuff like that.
So in the meantime, when you guys aren't doing dives, what do you guys do as a club?
Well, we've been mostly a lot of our time is focused toward just planning the trips, figuring out exactly, what we're going to do. But we also spend a lot of time doing different kinds of certifications. There's different levels of diving after just the basic certification. And so that's one of our main goals, is to have this like continuing education for people, so that they have more to do in the sport and they're constantly trying to be better, at the sport.
Wonderful. Now, for anyone out there that wants to get involved in catfish, what is the recommended way that they do that?
Well, we have a meeting next week on Thursday night. It's in Koffler 511. We meet every other Thursday, and that's going to be at 5 o'clock. If you can't make the meeting or you just have any other questions, we have a club email address. It's uacatfish@gmail.com. And that's really, I check that email all the time. So if you just have questions or comments or anything, that's a really great way to get a hold of us.
All right, send Jeff an email, and if you see him in Koffler, tell him you saw him on Wildcast. We'll take one last break, and then we'll have a rundown of this weekend's events. Stay tuned. Well, if you haven't heard, the main events of this weekend is, of course, homecoming, my favorite time of the year, and more than 60,000 visitors will be converging on the U of A campus to celebrate homecoming. It's an annual tradition here at the university that's dated back until 1914, and it's one of the largest homecoming celebrations in the country. If you've been anywhere on campus this week, you've seen the dozens of tents set up to house the exhibits and the sweet smell of porta potties, signifying that big football game. The game this Saturday evening is at 7 and against the USC Trojans, and it is completely sold out. But if you've already got your Zona Zoo or a ticket to the game, be sure to be there and cheer for our Wildcats. If you would rather spend your time doing something a little more academic this weekend, there are several really cool lectures happening, including one about the U of A Mars mission. However, if you want to get all sweaty rather than learned, watch your team have all the fun. The Campus Rec is hosting a hike to the Sonoran Desert. If you want to find out more about all the homecoming events, just log on to the homecoming website right here on the screen. And if you want more fun, then soon head over to Main Gate Square, because Bear Down Friday begins tonight at 5. And it is going until 7, featuring performances from the Black and Blue Hip Hop Band, Swing Cats, the UA Cheerleaders, appearances by Wilbur and Wilma, the Pep Rally, and your homecoming court. And while it isn't just this weekend, next Friday is Halloween. Enjoy yourselves, and on that note, have a great homecoming weekend. Until then, I'm your host, Spencer Lubitz, and this was Wildcast.
All right.
How
She licked me like a lollipop, yeah.